Hey guys, it's Ivory. Welcome to my channel. So today I have a really fun video. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I wrote it down, forgot about it, and then my friend Angela actually sent me a bunch of videos from 5-Minute Crafts of all these makeup hacks. And I was like, oh my god, yes, I forgot I wanted to do that. So shout out to Angela for reminding me. As you can tell from the title, I will be testing a bunch of viral makeup hacks. This is not an original idea. I have seen this floating around. I want to apologize if you can hear the heater in the back. It is working overtime today. It is currently -22 here in Chicago. With wind chill, it's -66, so it is dangerously cold. Both my dogs and my husband are going a little bit stir crazy. We all kind of have cabin fever right now. My husband has like those crazy eyes like Jack Nicholson from The Shining. So if I do not post a video after this one, he is suspect number 1. You heard it here first. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Wednesdays and Sundays and post occasional bonus videos throughout the week. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so the first makeup hack that I want to do that I actually know does work is fixing broken powders. So as you can see, this is broken. I was very sad. All you have to do is kind of smash it up a little bit more, which seems counterproductive, but it is very necessary. Afterwards, you're gonna use a little bit of rubbing alcohol and then mix it around so that it's like a paste. Afterwards, you will take a paper towel and press down on the powder so that it absorbs some of the moisture, and then let it sit for 24 hours and hope for the best. All right, so I've angled my camera so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna take the end of my tweezers. This feels so wrong, but I'm just gonna smash it up and grind it all up. I'm also gonna use the back of a spoon to kind of further smash things up. You may lose a little bit of the powder because it's gonna go everywhere, but that is a small sacrifice to make, because let's face it, are you ever really gonna finish this blush? No. So calm down. Okay, so I have smashed it and kind of tried to smooth it down. I just took the back of my spoon. This feels like an ASMR because like you can't see my face. Next, with rubbing alcohol, I'm actually going to use only a bottle cap's worth. I pour it in little by little. So I just put it in the middle and I kind of just spread it around. And then adding the alcohol has made it super pasty, so I'm just gonna take my spoon and kind of just re-level everything and make it as, I guess, pretty as I can. And this is pretty much what it should look like. I'm gonna let this settle for a little bit before I get a paper towel, because I have a feeling right now, since it's so mushy, if I use a paper towel, it'll lift off the pan. So I'm just gonna let this hang out for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to foundation. So I've seen one of them applying foundation with a dish sponge and the other one using a balloon. Two very different techniques, but I assure you they are equally stupid. I went ahead and wet the dish sponge because I just assumed you would use it wet. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but on the off chance that children are watching this and don't know better, please do not use the sponge that you are already using to wash your dishes. Get a clean sponge. So on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and use the sponge. And what's nice is on this side, before you even apply makeup, you can use it to exfoliate. Let me just start off by saying this is my favorite foundation combination. Hey, that rhymed. But it's my favorite foundation combination, so it's hard to mess up, but apparently it's not so hard when you use a dish sponge. All right, so this is one layer. I can see like the spackling from the holes of the sponge, and it really sheared it out. Does it work? Yes. Does it work well? No. And what I don't understand is a Real Technique sponge is not far off in price than a dish sponge. So why wouldn't a person just go ahead and buy the actual sponge that's designed for foundation? I'm gonna go ahead and blow this up and use this for the other side of the face. Why is it shaped like this? Why isn't it round like a normal balloon? It looks like a boob with a salami nipple. Let me get another balloon. I didn't think this would happen. Un momento. Okay, so I got the rest of the packet of balloons. Hopefully one of them works out. I feel like this is a better shape. All right, and we're just gonna go ahead and start with this. This noise. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to get in my nose crack, and hopefully you can see, but anywhere I have a divot or like a enlarged pore, it's not able to get into it. So you can see the sides of my nose, it couldn't get in there. On this area right here, it couldn't get into my giant potholes. So I gotta say that the sponge actually did a better job. So I'm actually gonna try and use this to recover what the balloon couldn't do. I'm actually gonna use the sponge to apply concealer as well. And look, this swoopy shape is like perfect for the under eye. I mean, talk about meant to be. Oh yeah, that looks so amazing. Oh yeah, it's like airbrushed. All right, so this is what the base looks like. Even though I'm making jokes and I'm being a little bit pessimistic about this, I want to assure you that I really am trying the best that I can with the products that I am given. That being said, it took way more work to use this than I would have with a brush or a sponge that is designed to actually apply foundation. I don't really understand why someone wouldn't pay to get an actual beauty sponge, because not all of them are expensive. Don't waste your time with this. I didn't see any hacks about setting, so I'm just gonna quickly set with a powder puff, because obviously I want this to last all day long. Moving on to contour, I saw people use a beauty sponge and then cut it into quarters, and then using the quarters, they use it as a stamp to dip into their bronzer or contour shade, and then use it to stamp to the cheekbones as well as the jawline. I'm gonna go ahead and use this sponge that I got from the Dollar Tree, so I'm not super sad about cutting it up because it sucks. It also looks like a little butt plug. So I'm just gonna take some scissors and cut this into quarters. Why is this like difficult? Oh my god, this sucks ass. Okay, I got it. It's like two little fishies under the sea. Okay, so I am left with this shape, which isn't super ideal for the contour, but I'm not about to cut up a sponge that I like, so we're gonna make do. I'm gonna go in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm just gonna dip into it, and now I'm just gonna stamp it. Let me also do the jawline. I'm also gonna just lightly stamp this on the forehead, and using my contour brush, let's make sure this blends out. It actually doesn't look that bad. It worked, but it was just so much work cutting up the sponge. I'd rather just go in with my bronzer and just use my brush. This was just an extra step that was completely unnecessary. To contour my nose, I'm actually gonna use a fork. I think a lot of people have seen this at this point. You put it against your nose, and then the middle of it is supposed to be where the highlight goes, and then the two sides are where your bronzer goes. Oh, that is a pleasant surprise. Okay, I'm gonna blend this out slightly just because it is quite harsh. And I'm gonna blur out this highlight because that's just ugly. But it's not too bad. And a lot of people really like this type of structure, like really straight. So if you like my nose, then do this. If you don't like the way my nose looks right now, then don't do this. I'm gonna go ahead and carve my cheekbones out. I always do this, and I'm also gonna do this to the sides of my nose just to clean it up. So for brows, I saw the trend where you take a brow pencil and color the ends of a tweezer, and then use the tweezers to outline the shape of your brows. So here I go. I'm just coloring the ends of the tweezers. And here we go. I already lost product. How do they do it in like one swift motion? The video makes it seem like just dipping it once will give you enough product for the entire eye. And that is a lie. Okay, let's keep going. We're not gonna panic. And then towards the end, we're just gonna tail it out. It is not a consistent brow. It is not a straight line, it's like dotted lines. I wanna try and keep doing this. Ew, ew. All right, and I'm gonna take a spoolie and just kind of comb through this and see how this goes. Honestly, all that work seemed to kind of just diffuse away, and it's a little bit better, but it's not much of an upgrade. Way too much work. I'm sure you guys are so surprised. Like, it doesn't even look like I shaped it. It just looks a little bit more full and filled in, but it doesn't look like the end result is all I'm trying to say. This has been baking for like 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna wipe it away. Moving on to the eyes, I saw a lot of viral trends for the eyes. One that really stuck out to me was using a bottle cap from like a Coke bottle and using that to cover up your lid and then use shadow to go around the bottle cap so that you're left with a really sharp cut crease. So I'm gonna go in with my favorite transition shade brush, and I'm gonna dip into any shadow and just swipe it around. My one issue is usually I blow out the outer edge. It's not super circular like this for me. If you're doing a halo eye, I guess this would work really well. And if you blend it out a little bit, it doesn't look too bad. So on the lid, I saw another hack where you take your eyelash tray and you cut it, and then in this empty gap, you add shadow and then press it onto your eyes and use that to stamp the lid color. All right, so I cut it into the semicircle. Be really careful and cut the plastic so that it's rounded, because plastic is very sharp and pointy and it's dangerous because it's going to go on your eye. I'm going to take a flat shader brush and add any metallic on here, I guess. I have loaded it up with shadow, and now we just stamp. That worked out really well. Look at all that pigment. Let's try that again. I'm going to use my finger and apply this onto the tray this time, and I'll just like smear it around a little bit more so that it really transfers. So that was pretty horrendous. I'm just gonna, like, look at that. Just adding my finger was way better. And this is way less dangerous. I'm way happier with the way it looks. It doesn't look perfect, but it's an upgrade. So for the lash line, I'm gonna go in with an eyelash curler. What I saw was people used a gel liner or a liquid liner, and they lined the bottom of the curler all in black, and then they curled their lashes, and the liner left an imprint so it looked like thin line on their lash line so that they didn't have to draw it themselves. I'm a little afraid because I don't ever use eyelash curlers because they always pinch my lids, but we're gonna try it anyways. I'm just taking a felt tip liner and I'm just lining the top, and then we're gonna go for it. That did absolutely nothing, and I have liner here, so there's no reason why it shouldn't be able to go onto my lid. This is a complete fail. At least most of these hacks relatively work. Like, process was sort of there, but it just was too much work. But this one was just a complete fail. It doesn't work. We're gonna move on to mascara. So the hack that I saw was that if you apply a thin layer of Vaseline with a spoolie before you apply mascara, they look more fluttery, they don't clump as much, and they just overall look better. So I have a huge tub of Vaseline and a spoolie. So I'm just gonna coat these the way I would regular mascara. As I look forward, I can already see the Vaseline, like it's really making them heavy. Okay, so that is evenly distributed all over the lashes from root to tip. I'm gonna apply a coat of mascara on both eyes. Okay, so this is one coat. This one is with Vaseline underneath, and this one is just with mascara. I don't really feel like this eye looks any better, and in fact, I spent more time unclumping the Vaseline through my lashes than I did with this one, and they look basically the same, but this one took more work to look identical. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is also a fail, since it doesn't do what it was supposed to do, and it actually looks worse. Okay, so next off, I have to set my brows. I saw a video where you could do a DIY brow gel. It's just literally 2 ingredients. All you need is aloe vera and a little bit of brow powder. It didn't say measurements, so we're gonna wing it. So with my aloe vera, I'm just going to add a tiny bit, not even a full pump. And then using my tweezers, I'm just gonna scrape some of the powder from this. I used to use this to fill in my brows all the time. So I just added a little bit of the brown in there, and we're just gonna mix it on up. Okay, so this is what it looks like mixed up. I think that's plenty for my brows. It turned into this kind of mushy paste. I'm gonna go in with another spoolie, coat this really lightly, and comb it through. Not gonna lie, that actually kind of worked. I want to apply this on my skin just to see what it looks like. Okay, so it does have a little bit of a tint going through. Yeah, I don't hate the way my brows look, and plus the smell of aloe vera is actually quite nice, so this is very soothing. So I actually like this hack. So for lips, I saw people use a spoon and use that to guide them over the Cupid's bow. So I'm gonna place this right below the line so that it's super precise. It is a nice guideline for those who kind of mess up around this area, or for those who just want it to be a little bit more crisp. So yeah, I would say that this is an acceptable hack. And lastly, we are going to come back to the blush. If you remember, I did this first, and while I did the rest of my video, this was just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. I'm going to go ahead and take a paper towel and place it over the entire pan, and I'm going to take a spoon and just kind of graze over it. With the paper towel, you could just clean up the edges, and you are left with a not perfect but restored powder that you can use again. Just to give you an example, I did this exact same method on this. So half of my bronzer broke, so I actually kept this in place, and then the other half I mashed up and did the exact same technique and then put them together, and after 24 hours it was restored. So I can attest and say that this method will work. So do not fret if you have damaged powder. There is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel. This is what you have to do. Alright, so that is it for this video. I had a lot of fun doing this, so let me know if you want a part 2, because I would love to do this again with different types of beauty hacks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!